What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, obviously start of a brand new month, which means that we're going to be getting into a brand new tier list video. In this month's tier list, there's actually 3 new characters from the previous tier list. There's going to be Legend Jack, Dogstorm and Cat Viper, as well as Legend Carrot. All of those brand new characters are going to be in this tier list today, so hopefully you guys do go on to enjoy the video. And if you guys do go on to enjoy it, make sure to hit the like button down below. And also, if you guys want to go ahead and subscribe and also hit the bell notification, that's the best way to get notified of whenever I upload a new YouTube video, because apparently subscribing on YouTube means nothing these days. So if you guys want to go ahead and do that, that'd be awesome. And also, I've actually started up a new Patreon in case you guys haven't known about that. You obviously don't need to go ahead and check that out, but if you guys do want to check it out, it'd be greatly appreciated. But obviously, you don't have to go ahead and do that. But anyways, let's get into the tier list, okay? So obviously, we start off at the bottom and we make our way back up to the top. So with tier 3, these are the lowest tier characters in my personal tier list, and remember, these are my own personal rankings. If you guys don't agree with them, that's completely fine, of course. These are just how I view a lot of the characters in One Piece Treasure Cruise, and obviously this tier list doesn't include every single legend in the game, otherwise we would be here for a very, very long time. But obviously, every character in each tier are ranked by their ID, and I actually just updated this right before I started recording this video, and there are actually criteria now, because a lot of people seem to be confused as to how I rank the characters. Mainly, I take into accountability their captain effect and their special ability together. So if they've got both good specials and great captain abilities, they're going to be a lot higher ranked compared to other characters. But you know, if one of their specific abilities are really, really bad, then they're going to be lower on the tier list, of course. But it's also based off their power and how much damage they can deal, how fast they can clear content, how reliable they are in clearing content, what their clear rate actually is, and how often are they, more often than not, to clear content, or do they need a lot of help in order to clear content, and what kind of units do they have accessible to them that they can be used with. That's the main criteria that I go with personally when I rank each of these characters. So with tier 3 here, I've actually put Corazon in here. Big shout out to, I think it was Atsu, Asian guy, who suggested this in the last tier list. I completely forgot about Corazon 6+. Honestly, one of the best utility units in the game. Has a really great support ability as well, and I don't know if that's available on global yet, but when we get that, it's one of the best support abilities in the game, and honestly one of the best utility based special abilities in the game, with healing and lots of debuff removal. So he's really great. So I don't think he really deserves to go up like any further than this. His captain ability is awful, but one of the best subs in the game. Version 1 lore, still really solid, allowing all of your specials to bypass barriers and defensive effects, which is always going to be nice to have. V1 Sanji is still seeing play, is able to beat a lot of content, which is actually really good. We've still got Cerebral lore in here as well. Cerebral are still kicking, and they're still doing some pretty good stuff, so I don't think the Cerebral lore is going to be moving anytime soon. We've got 6+ Lucci still here as well. You don't really see him too often used, which is kind of unfortunate, but if you need to run like a shooter-based team, and you don't have some of the more newest shooter legends such as Capone, Dex Sabo, Zephyr, then this is like your next best thing, and he is still able to help out a lot with paralysis reduction and color affinity and defense reduction as well, so he's a pretty solid unit to have. Dex Rayleigh is still really good as a sub unit. As a captain, he is usable, definitely usable. I think I mentioned it in the previous tier list as well, but characters such as Strength Log Ace that we got in the anniversary, he actually helps out a lot with this Rayleigh, allowing you to build more accessible free spirit teams with Rayleigh as your captain if you do opt to run a team like that. Then you've got Frankie as well. Frankie's still very solid, but there's just so many other legends that do what he does, but kind of just better. Obviously, he has that captain action, which is very unique to him, but it's not that great, because I feel like if you just compare him and his captain action, I think I mentioned it as well in previous tier lists, but Legend Capone is just much better with his Big Father effect, because you can keep it for multiple turns, whereas with Frankie here, he only has it for 1 turn, which is a little bit of a drag down for him. Gil Tesor and Garp, I guess I could talk about them together. Captain abilities are pretty bad, but their special abilities just help you clear content much easier, with 30% health cut and chain lock and special bind reduction, as well as a 3.25 times chain lock, 200k AoE, as well as 4 guaranteed matching orbs, so very useful to have. Shiki's still solid as well, accessible for 3 different colors. You can build some pretty solid teams around him, can run as a hybrid captain with a lot of other friend captains to clear content, which is great, but just overall he is annoying to use, but he does have a lot of power. His speed is questionable. Reliability, he's actually very, very reliable. Clear rate is pretty high, and he does have a lot of usable units, so I guess Shiki is probably probably the best one in this tier, I would say. It would be the unit that would be able to clear a lot more content compared to the rest of the characters. I guess Brook is in that same vein as well, but speed and power are very, very low for Brook. He is somewhat reliable, I would say. Clear rate is pretty reliable as well. In usable units, obviously, he can use nearly everyone in the game pretty much, but just the power and speed is the really bad thing about Legend Brook. The new character here though, Legend Jack. I'm really excited that we actually got Legend Jack on Global. I really wish I was able to pull him, allowing you to level up your account much quicker. But if we just compare what his abilities do, in terms of power, he's only a 3x attack captain, which isn't that great, but he is a rainbow captain, so he does have a lot of usable units, and also you can partner him up with a lot of other friend captains, which, I mean, like, I was using Carrot a couple of days ago, and I was able to clear content with a friend Jack, which is pretty good because you get the benefits of Carrot, and you also get the double EXP, and if you use the host ship as well, it's additional 1.75 times EXP. So Legend Jack is really great, though he's not going to be your go-to captain for clearing some of the more endgame related content, whether we get special like 0 stamina islands that are really difficult. Jack is not going to be good for that. For like the more recent Colosseums, Jack probably might be able to clear them, but I probably wouldn't opt to choose Jack as like my #1 option for that. And then for like more difficult raid bosses, he also might be struggling to clear those as well. And his special ability, in my personal opinion, really doesn't help out all that much. He gives a health cut, which is an AoE health cut, and I believe that bypasses defensive effects, which is nice. But the additional effect that he provides, where he extends the durations of certain buffs, it's just, I don't know, he's just not as powerful as some of the tier 2 and higher legends, and that's the reason why he you know, revolves around this tier 3 here. The thing is like, I feel like Jack is a well-deserving tier 3 legend, and I don't see him dropping out of tier 3 like for a very long time. He's a very solid tier 3 character just because of the fact that he is a rainbow captain, and some of the units that you can use with him that really synergize well with him, like such as the Colosseum Kid, they just work very, very well, and you are able to clear some pretty difficult content with him, but he's just not your go-to character that I would suggest to clear content with. And then the last character here is Kung Fu Luffy, which is still very good, and Kung Fu Luffy is still showing that he is one of the best legends in the game, honestly, being a rainbow captain, a very good unit to run with hybrid teams if you do opt to do that, and he has a great special ability as well. Even if you don't opt to use him as a captain, he has the ability to tank damage, he gives you a universal type boost, he gives you more matching orbs, and he makes perfects easier to hit. Kung Fu Luffy is just an all-round fantastic legend to have. But overall, those are my opinions on every character here in the tier 3 positioning. As I said, if you don't see a character here that's not on this tier list, it either means that either one, I've forgotten about it, but most of the time I am pretty good with that. Or #2, it's just that, you know, those characters aren't as good as the characters that are the rest on this tier list here. But either way, that's my tier 3 position. If you guys disagree with it, as I said, let me know down below in the comment section. But now let's move on to tier #2. So moving on to tier 2 here, we've got these characters right here. So I do have NL here. He is still maintaining the tier 2 positioning, and the main reason for that is because if I merge tier 2 and tier 1 together, like, there are so many characters in that tier, and it kind of loses the value of that tier, in my personal opinion. So that's the reason why I did that in the last tier list, where I kind of split up the characters that were in tier 1 together in one massive group. So we've got NL here, who is still showing that he can still clear some content, which is great. Power is reasonable. His speed is reasonable, especially if you have some of the legends like Marco, Shirahoshi, Mancherry, all of those really good characters. Version 1 lore is pretty much a must if you want to run very powerful NL teams. He has a lot of usable units, of course, but mainly you want to stick to those healers and the enablers for NL to just output as much damage as possible and as quick as possible. But NL is still very, very, very solid, but I feel like the characters that are in the tier above him are just a little bit more reliable. But obviously the characters that are in the tier above NL are more difficult to build teams with, because you will more often than not need characters that are like rare recruits or legends to clear content really, really fast. But I feel like for the majority of players, NL is going to be that guy that's going to help you out a lot. But still, even though a character is in like a tier that you don't believe he should be in, like, don't discredit him. He's still very, very good. I think he is still a good legend, but I just think the ones in tier 1 are just better than what NL is. We've still got Robin here as well from the last tier list. Not really much happened with Robin. She's just a really good all-round captain and has a pretty usable special ability as well. Vito Jimbe, hopefully he changes within the next month or two. Hopefully we get the Bato and Cavendish batch, which will give him a very nice boost, allowing him to go probably back up to tier 1. Driven get a really big buff around the time of Bato and Cavendish, especially with the release of limited rare recruit Pudding, which helps out those teams like a buttload. I can't wait to see limited rare recruit Pudding in the game because she's just so powerful. We've got Nami here as well. For power, she's reasonable. I mean, she is really good, right? She's a 3.75 captain, but only for one color, and I've mentioned this in previous tier lists as well, but being only for one color, especially for just the primary colors being Strength, Dex, and Quick, that's not really that great. If she was like a Mono Psi or Int captain, that wouldn't be that bad because Mono Psi and Int, obviously they don't have any weaknesses. They can hit everyone for neutral damage at the very least. But the fact that she is for Dex does restrict her usability a lot. But as a sub, that's the main reason why she would be this high, is because her usability as a sub is off the charts, one of the best subs in the game, 2x Orb Boost, 1.75 color affinity. However, once we get Legend Cracker, I think Legend Cracker definitely surpasses Nami in terms of usability as a sub, though when Nami gets her 6+, she gets a little bit of utility added to her special ability, which does make her a lot better. Version 1 Katakuri, I feel like just in terms of power level right now, he's kind of weak, and especially now that we have V2 Katakuri being a better version, in my personal opinion, of Version 1 Katakuri, getting much more power, and he's more reliable, I would say, as well. Though, I actually really like the teams that you can build with V1 Katakuri, and I still have a very soft place in my heart for Katakuri because he's probably one of my favorite legends in the game, still very solid. Now, a lot of people might disagree with this one, but I think the Big Mom is a tier 2 legend character. I think I did talk about it in my last video as well, but with Big Mom, through my personal usage of using the character, I have found that I mainly will gravitate towards Big Mom if there is Dex heavy content, though you can still click content if it's not Dex heavy. That's not really a big issue, but I just find that it is a lot easier to use Big Mom when there are a lot of Dex enemies because you don't really need to worry as much, and just managing Big Mom throughout your run is just extremely annoying. I am very grateful that we have her 6+ on global as early as we did because that really enhances her usability, because regular 6-star Big Mom is just terrible, but at least 6+ Big Mom does have a more usable special ability as well, allowing you to change the block orbs at the very least. Her special ability is pretty good actually, and she's going to be very useful in upcoming content for when we get the Kazuna raid that's out on JP right now. She's actually very useful for that, allowing you to get a very high damage base boost very quickly. But as of right now on global, I'm just not sold on Big Mom. I don't think she's as good as what people are saying. I know you guys can probably prove me wrong, but I'm not a big fan of Big Mom. Talking about a character that I am a big fan of though, Vito Jimbe. I love this legend. I think he's absolutely amazing. Kind of in the same vein as Shiki, where he has access to 3 separate colors that you can build with, right? Which is great. The fact that his special ability though is the crew's own type boosting effect, as well as a health cut as well, which don't take that for granted. That's a very, very nice ability. And you know, if you do opt to run a team that has like a character like Praline and Aladdin, or with Heracles in it, you can build a team to guarantee you that 2.25 times type boost, which is pretty good. Very difficult to get for most teams, but you are able to do it. And then talking about Zephyr as well, I think Zephyr is probably, you know, he's that tier just above Lucci in my opinion in terms of the shooter captains. You can see Lucci down here in tier 3. The reason why I think that Zephyr is a tier above him is because of his special. I think his special is fantastic. A 30% health cut with amazing tap timing bonus damage and guaranteed full board of orbs for your shooter characters. I feel like that's much more usable compared to Lucci's special ability. Both of their captains are very solid. I think Zephyr is what, a 3.7 or 3. He's a 3.9 captain when you have a matching orb, 3.25 otherwise, I believe, and he has damage reduction with the captain ability as well. So yeah, Zephyr I think is just in this tier specifically because he's just better than what Lucci is at what Lucci can do. But there we go. Now let's move on to tier number 1, which is also a very humongous tier. Like this has a lot of characters on it, and there have definitely been some changes from the last tier list as well. So we've obviously got Legend Lucy. There's not much I really need to say about him. Still one of the best legends in the game, considering how old this character is. It's very surprising to see how good he still is, and he's probably still going to be good for like many years to come. Then we've got Judge. Not really much to say about Judge either. We should be getting V2 Jimbe relatively soon, and I'm really looking forward to that. But even though when when the Vito Jimbe like initially come out, that doesn't mean that this judge is automatically bad. This judge is still going to see lots and lots of play, especially the side judge with in tandem with this guy works very well, and then this other judge also can work well with this white bit as well. But the int judge is also very, very solid for like V2 Katakuri teams. You can build some really great teams with both of these characters with 6+ and 6-star judge, yeah, I mean that's as good as what it is. I mean, judge is just still really good. He's better than a lot of the characters in tier 2 in my personal opinion right now, and that's why I put him in tier 1 still. And then we've got Luffy and Ace. Not really much has changed as well with Luffy and Ace, still one of the best legends in the game. Same with Shanks, not really much has changed, honestly. Like, Shanks is just so good. But then here we go with V2 Kuzan. This is a change from the last tier list. I originally had Kuzan in tier 2 last month. He has moved up. And the main reason for that is because of this character right here, Legend Carrot. I've been using Carrot a lot since I pulled her, and thank God I pulled her, man. I'm so grateful for being able to pull Carrot. But I've been using Carrot and utilizing the Psy Quick teams with Kuzan. It is pretty crazy how teams can be. Like, you can just run like the double Carrot and Kuzan and then 3 other characters. They don't even have to be Psy Quick characters, and like you're still outputting like crazy amounts of damage. This combination is great, and I can't wait to use it in a lot of upcoming content. But that just makes Kuzan so much better. And even if you are in a situation where you don't own Carrot, which I know many of you guys won't, but if you have Kuzan, you can run a hybrid team with Carrot, and you can build a team based around that, and you can do some serious damage with that combination. So because of Carrot's release, I do personally think that Kuzan is in a tier above from last month. That is my personal opinion. Then we've got Akainu, still Akainu and Shanks together. God tier combination, not really much wrong there. V2 Sanji, I mean, like what I said last month, one of the highest damage outputting characters in the entire game, but he has really, really annoying drawbacks, and it's really frustrating to see. You know, especially, it's really frustrating to see Sanji like this when we get a character like V2 Mihawk down the road, who is basically a buffed version of V2 Sanji just for slasher characters. It's really annoying. I don't know why they gave this Sanji such annoying debuffs, but it is what it is. He's still a very powerful legend. Capone, my boy. I love this character so much. If you guys saw my Carrot showcase video, I used Capone's sub on a Carrot team to use his Big Father effect to avoid being blown away in a certain circumstance. Capone is really good. Capone is one of my favorite legends in the game, and if you guys have been around the channel for a long time, you guys would know that shooters are one of my favorite classes in the game, you know, going all the way back to Stronghold Ace days. And the fact that we have a character like Capone, I'm really grateful for that, because he's one of the best legends in the game with a 3.75 constant, lots of HP, more beneficial orbs, and a special ability being his Cruise Zone type booster, as well as getting access to Big Father. It is what it is, man. Capone's god tier. And then we've got Carrot. I mean, Carrot is so good. I mean, some people might say Carrot is tier 0. I would somewhat agree to a certain extent, but you have to look at the facts. She does have a very big debuff, the fact that you can only clear content within those first 12 turns. Depending on the content, you can still clear after 12 turns, but she definitely has a big drawback. But that's the thing, she's not built for certain pieces of content. She is built for Colosseums, raid bosses, and that type of thing. So in that sort of circumstance, yes, Carrot is one of the best legends, if not the best legend in the game, because in terms of power and speed, she is the best. Well, power, I mean, there's characters that are more powerful than her, but a 4 times captain that goes through barriers, you get more beneficial orbs, and you get a crap ton of cooldown reduction. And she has a reasonable pool of characters. I do think that the pool of characters that are available right now on Global are relatively limited. A lot of Carrot teams nowadays on Global are roughly the same structure, but once we get more batches come out, there are going to be more usable characters with Carrot, and she's going to be getting even better than what she already is. Like, even just looking at the waifu batch that came out on Japan recently with Shirahoshi and Mancherry dual unit, we have Vivi and Rebecca dual unit, and then there's characters such as the Kobe and the Violet. All of those characters work with Carrot. Like, Carrot can run as a captain with those characters as subunits, and it's pretty crazy some of the stuff that you can do. So I'm really looking forward to more characters that come out that are able to be used with Carrot, namely Colosseum Magellan, which comes out very soon as well. A very solid unit, can't wait to get my hands on him, and he works not only with Carrot but with a lot of other characters on this tier list, so he's going to be really awesome to get a hold of. Dex Sabo, pretty much the same as last month as well, also being in that shooter meta as well, really helping out Capone. I do think that Sabo is a much much better character, you know, comparing to the down here with Zephyr, just because of the fact that he has a higher base damage, he has more matching orbs as a captain, and the fact that he has a really god tier special ability as well. I think that Sabo is really solid, and the fact that you can run not only just shooters, but you can run fighters and 3 spirit characters and get them getting the full boost as well. It really makes a difference. And then here is a new character on this tier list, which we have Dogstorm and Cat Viper. The fact that they boost both striker and cerebral characters, you have a vast array of characters that you can use with this guy as your captain. And even as a sub, like, they have one of the best specials in the game, providing an attack boost and a color affinity boost to 2 separate classes. And then if you hit a certain amount of perfects, you get a 2.25 times orb boost in the next turn. So when you're running, you know, both of them as the captain, you can get a 2.25 orb boost, a 1.75 attack boost, a 1.75 color affinity boost. You have 2 of the 7 natural orbs as beneficial, and you get up to a 4 times attack boost with just the captains. And then you have so much space on your crew for either utility or manipulation, whatever you want to bring. That's one of the great things about this character. I really hope I get this guy soon, because I really want to test him out in a lot of content. And he's going to be he's another one of these characters that gets better over time, because as I said, with the waifu batch, with Shirahoshi Mancherry, Rebecca, and Vivi, all of those characters can work well with Neko and Inu, which is really awesome. And that's the same vein as Carrot. You know, they're just going to be getting better and better and better as more characters get released, which is so exciting to see. And then the last character for tier 1, we've got Quickbeard, who is just dominating content still. It's actually so good to see that the global got a character like this so early. Like, honestly, like, Quickbeard is, if he came out on Japan, he would still be one of the best characters on Japan. A lot of people don't like low HP captains, and I can definitely understand that. But a lot of people don't realize that even at half HP, he's still a 3.5 times attack boost. You don't have to get that lower HP to output some serious damage output. And he also has a very powerful special ability with 2 times attack to 2 separate classes, as well as a very nice combo boost as well. Like, he has a special comparable to Shanks in terms of damage output, minus the orb manipulation. So yeah, Quickbeard is going to be a very powerful asset for your account if you do have him for a lot of content moving forward. And the fact that he boosts 2 separate classes, you have a vast array of characters that you can use with him as well. And that's my tier list for tier 1, honestly. And now let's move on to the final tier list of the video, or the final tier of this tier list, which is going to be tier 0. And surprise, surprise, there are no changes from the previous listing, which is going to be Snake Man as the #1 legend in the game. I just don't think that there is any other character in the game that is as good as him, because he has the power, he has the speed, he has the reliability, he has the usable units. You can use a lot of different characters with him. The fact that he is a rainbow captain, and also he can clear essentially everything in the game, because he can use every other character as a sub unit or as a hybrid captain to allow you to bypass any piece of content that you need to do. So I think that Snake Man is the #1 legend in the game. These are not ordered in terms of what I think either way. I don't know which one would be #2, but I do think that Whitebeard and Marco are also one of the top legends in the game, because they have the ability to stall as much as they want. So you can use a special on like a stage 4, and if you need to go ahead and use that special again on a stage 5, you can stall that out in a lot of cases. Not all the time, but you can do that for a lot of different circumstances. I think that Whitebeard and Marco is continuously showing that they are one of the premium legends in the game, and the fact that they can use anyone as well. They are a rainbow captain at the end of the day. They give a higher attack boost, obviously, to sign int, but they are a rainbow captain, which is one of their great benefits. And then obviously version 2 Katakuri, I think that he's probably my favorite legend in the game right now. Carrot's probably getting up there with a close second though, but version 2 Katakuri is just so good, right? The fact that you can heal up all the time, moving on to the next stage, you can tank your damage, and you can legitimately clear content without having to activate any other special except for Katakuri special. Like, that tap timing bonus is no joke, along with that mass AoE damage. This guy is something special, and I can't wait to use him once we get more content on Global. It's been a really dry spell since the end of the Luffy versus Katakuri event. I'm just waiting for more content to come out to start using some of these legends again. I'm really looking forward to it. But there we go. That's the full rundown of my tier list as of July 2019. So if you guys agree or disagree with any of these choices here, let me know down below in the comment section. But I personally feel this is one of my better tier lists. I'm really content with all the placings of these characters. But that's it, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video today. And if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, and also hit the bell notification notifications to be notified whenever I upload a brand new video on YouTube. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.